Right, so carrying on looking around some of the sort of business aircraft here at Aero Expo Prague 2009. We had a look at the Beechcraft Premier One a little bit earlier today. Brian is still with me though. Look, this is a very different sort of aircraft, isn't it? This KingAir. Yes. I'm sure lots of people have heard about it. The most obvious thing, obviously, are these huge great blades on it, is a propeller aircraft. But why would I want to use a prop aircraft instead of a jet?
Yeah, well, that's an excellent question. This is sort of an aerial SUV. You could look at it that way. It carries a lot of people and bags and skis and things like that. And you can fly it out of some of the shortest runways available. So it's really a great airplane for that.
Right. Now, what about in terms of price, fuel economy, and performance?
Yeah. Pricing on this would be about $1 million less than a Premier. So it's a little less expensive. At the same time, you have ample seating, 7-8 seats. And on a seat mile basis, if you are generally carrying lots of passengers, it actually becomes quite inexpensive to operate.
Can you give us some approximation? Now, obviously, every country's different, fuel costs are different in every country.
Yeah.
But can you give us some idea of a sort of per seat cost?
I could give you an hourly cost. I could look that up for you exactly, but generally this will operate for about $1,200 per hour.
Right, so that's actually for speed again, which we talked about earlier with the Premier.
Yeah,
that's not bad, really, is it?
No, it's quite good actually.
Right. Yeah. Let's find out a bit more about the aircraft. Obviously, it's a twin. What's it like in terms of performance and speed and all that as well?
Yeah, well, this is a new variant of a classic, you could say. This is the B200 GT, and it's got new, more powerful engines. And the speed is a little over 300 knots, 305 knots roughly. So the speed is quite good.
Excellent. And one of the things I noticed as well is you have got some pretty chunky wheels on here.
Yeah, this airplane is really built for unimproved strips and bad weather, things like that. The airplane can really stop well on some short strips, and those wheels help. In addition, the big propellers that you see here provide a really substantial thrust reverse when you need it. And the wheels, of course, are so that you can land on unimproved strips.
So looking inside here again, we've got a six-seat configuration, haven't we?
Yes, correct. You do have the 7th seat back there, which is also your lavatory seat, and it's possible to get an 8th seat if you like.
Right, so that's the lavatory, so the person has to get up if someone needs to shut the door and go round the back.
Exactly.
Right, so tell us a little bit about the mission again. It's a shorter range, so what do people use this aircraft for compared to, as I said, the Premier we were looking at?
Yeah, and actually I should say the range is the same as the Premier, but the more likely range for this airplane is a 1 to 2 hour trip, perhaps from a very short strip. Where a customer can get out of his office, go to the local airstrip rather than drive 45 minutes away, and that saves a lot of time, of course, and fly to a great number more airstrips because of the capability and the landing distance.
The other thing, I mean, we've all heard about the Detroit 3, haven't we, and about the fact they all did all this messing around. I remember Beechcraft came out with a great line at the time. It's like, well, they should have gone into Beechcraft. So how much difference would it have made sitting in one of these things?
Oh, well, from a cost perspective, based on the large jets that they rode, flying in this would have saved tens of thousands of dollars on that short trip.
There's really no excuse, was there?
No. And the really unfortunate thing was that they didn't defend their use of the airplanes. Maybe they could have used a smaller aircraft, but I support their use of private aircraft. They're heads of top companies, and so they should have their privacy. So maybe they could have used a more appropriate aircraft, though.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Thank you.